healing the divine masculine. Our earth is calling us forward to heal the divine masculine within each and every one of us. You see, for too long, we have been given this painted story of what the divine masculine is ought to be. Of this great powerful force being in its logical mental essence and shedding dominion over everything that surrounds it. This feature of what man represents, this feature of what power and control represents, this feature of a warlike nature that has to remain this dominant father presence and preside over all of us. You see, we are now being called to heal the divine masculine that lives within each and every one of us. Now, as we begin to nurture and heal this great divine masculine, we begin to see that it's nothing that has been portrayed. For the divine masculine is the great action taker, the great creative essence that has to be nurtured on an equal nature with its feminine essence and, of course, birthing the inner child essence. You see, as we begin to look, we begin to see that there are features of divine masculine that is portrayed in our day-to-day world. The Capricornian structure, the pyramid class system, a political system of what leaders are supposed to be. The father figure in the family, the brain, the reasoning mind and mental body. We begin to see that even what we were told of its essence, of just being this warlike angry feature as it has been presented on the planet of Mars, is nothing what it was meant to be. You see, that divine masculine is yearning to be one with its creative soul. As if we go back to from what we understand of the creative story, you see, the divine masculine had to use its creative feminine essence. You know, if we look at just our body structure, we go to our brain for a form of reasoning. You see, in our status quo world, as we learn to understand everything that surrounds, we begin to see that, wow, we have been taught about dominance, about control, about, just presiding over others, that it's about a oneness, you know. And as I begin to see this picture, when it was painted by, the separation story that, resides within us. You see, even as we go through this awakening, we see, features of it where there's a sort of agenda push for a transhuman, where what that's really breaking down all about is more about we being this feature of masculine, feminine, and of course birthing our inner child, as we could see mother, father, child, birth. Use this as a symbolism that the transhumanism story is about on a physical form, showing us what it's like to be male, female, and of course just creating this new story. But it's about being in harmony with both. So if we go back to just our logical essence and use of our brain, we begin to see that through our mental states, we sometimes use too much of it, reasoning that if I don't see something, I'm not gonna believe it. This doesn't make sense. This intuitive essence. Oh, we're shifting through a new age. You have guides. What are you talking about? You're able to travel through different dimensions. Now that's your divine feminine showing you different pictures, because on a wholesome level, that's what you truly are. But the reasoning brain, you know, is telling you no. Continue to live in that limited dimension. The divine masculine needs healing when it begins to show us that we have to live in a state of punishment. That if we don't do exactly what we're told, as we're seeing that when we went through this pandemic, we have to live in a state of punishment. We have to continue living in a class system of socio-economic world where some have to continue to preside over us in a political, religious, level, or just celebrity status wise, having these resources, and some having dominion over this entire socio-economic world to tell us that, wow, you don't have power over yourselves, so here, you have to continue to be taxed, you have to continue to be told, okay, we have this economic system. Here, the gas prices has to go up. The stock market has to be at this level. When we begin to see that, if we all fully heal and transmute and transform the pain of the divine masculine that has overpowered the divine feminine creative essence that live within us throughout the eons of ages, that wow, it's more about bringing it down a notch, bringing down the harshness and the great push for power and dominion, as we could even see the representations of our divine masculine, as it say, like we can see that our sun is in astrology is represented as the divine masculine, and our moon is represented as our divine feminine. But I'll use this great example. We see that we recently went through eclipses, and I remember being in Mexico and experiencing this great blood moon of scorpionic nature, and just seeing when they both come together. Now, an eclipse in its form is when the sun actually comes forth over the earth and blocks, it's almost like the earth is in between the moon of earth and the sun, and it's like it's just being blocked. All of the light from the sun, it's being blocked, so it's almost like a reflection. So we see the merger of all three, which is divine feminine, divine masculine, child. And as we begin to see the symbolic nature of all of this, we begin to see that they have to come in equality to create this great balance, to birth this what we see as eclipse, when as an astrological person you begin to see that, wow, this is actually like the earth's shadow reflected back to us, and it's formed this great eclipse in the sky, whether it's a solar or a moon eclipse. So I use this great example to see it's now about bringing down the power structures of the divine masculine, healing it fully from within. When your mental body is in disarray, you go through your dark night of the soul and you're just in a confused state of mind, but your intuitive feminine nature is being birthed within you, showing you pictures of how creative you are, of birthing that joy essence of that inner child. We begin to see without mother, father, the child cannot be birthed in form. And as we learn to just transmute and transform this great agenda by the powers that have be, those who oversee the world, we begin to see that it's an individual level of healing that divine masculine. That no, the divine masculine is not more powerful than the divine feminine. That divine masculine of just being that strength builder, the giver of life. If we want to connect it to the dear sun, the sun just keeps on reflecting light to us, and we get to take it in, nourish our bodies, have the energy that we need. We could look at the feature of the moon just gifting us, as we see every moon cycle. For us women, we are often on a moon cycle, and we see how feelings and our emotions and the intuitive nature, we're so intuitive, or creative essence is part. But we begin to see when on an equal level we merge this, so much can happen. And it's so pivotal to understand that if we have to continue evolving in our creative story of going through this great shift, that the divine masculine have to be fully healed and calm down a notch, and not continue to preside itself as the powerful dominion over the divine feminine on an individual level. And then we could take it on a collective level to just see all the features of power and divine masculine Capricornian structures. As we have explained before, the Capricornian sign is a divine feminine, but it presented itself as a divine masculine. So that's kind of why it has been able to stay dominion for so long, because without the divine feminine aspect, this great structure wouldn't have been able to carry on. So begin to see that we have to merge this to birth a whole new abundant life here on earth. And we all have to, through our great awakening, begin to take our divine masculine of power, control and dominion down a notch. Even us, we're being told like the divine masculine is to show like I'm strong, I'm angry, but on a different level of just reflecting like the sun, that light energetic feature within us, and merging forward for divine and feminine to birth a whole new life. So continue to work on yourselves and your mental and emotional body to fully heal and transmute that divine masculine, because in order to move forward from this great stage of our evolution, the divine masculine is calling to be healed. I love you with all of my heart. So continue to heal your divine masculine and see it as an equal nature as we go through this great shift, recreating our most beautiful story of evolution and abundance paradigm here on earth. As I share this from the wholesome inner child essence that lives within me with so much joy, bliss, and harmony, as I fully heal and transform the divine masculine that lives within me, and share this great experience within you to call forward the healing of your own divine masculine and live fully in your divine wholesomeness.